Okay, you guys ready? Yep. All right. Good morning. Welcome to the Gilroy Police Department. My name is Captain Joseph Darris, and we're going to be sharing some remarks with you this morning. And so before we do that, I'd like to introduce the individuals that we have with us today. Folks to my right here are, beginning with Chief David Swing from Morgan Hill Police Department, Deputy District Attorney Adam Flores, Santa Clara County DA's office, and Bernice Aguilera, also from the Santa Clara County District Attorney's office. Directly next to me is Vishal Bathija from the DA's office, Captain Emil Kokesh from the Morgan Hill Police Department, Captain Pedro Espinoza from the Gilroy Police Department, Mayor Constantine from the City of Morgan Hill, and Mayor Roland Velasco from the City of Gilroy. So with that, I'd like to introduce to you Vishal Bathija from the DA's office.
This Saturday, we're having a gun buyback. It's a way to reduce unwanted guns in our community. This buyback is about accepting unwanted guns from the safes, closets, and attics in our community that people don't want anymore. A scenario that we see far too often in gun crimes that we prosecute is a gun owner passes away. His family is not sure what to do with his guns. The unwanted firearms sit unattended and they're disregarded, and that family's home is then burglarized and those unwanted firearms are stolen. Far too often we see those unwanted firearms ending up in the hands of convicted felons, used in robberies at our local convenience stores, used in shootings, or found during a routine traffic stop where officers' lives are put in danger and the felon's life is put in danger. Unwanted firearms end up becoming ubiquitous with gun violence in our society. Unwanted firearms end up in the hands of curious children with tragic results. Unwanted firearms end up in the hands of depressed youths with tragic results. And far too often, unwanted firearms end up in the hands of convicted felons. There are many ways to combat gun violence in our community. Buybacks by themselves are not a panacea, but it's an important part of a broad, countywide approach that we take to fighting gun violence in our community. Other efforts include strictly enforcing gun laws, using gun violence restraining orders, and using state-of-the-art forensic techniques to solve gun violence. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll have Captain Emil Kokesh from the City of Morgan Hill.
Thank you. Less than 6 months ago, the community of Morgan Hill was devastated after a shooting occurred at a car dealership which left 2 victims dead. The safety of our community is our highest priority. This voluntary gun buyback provides a safe and anonymous way to dispose of unwanted firearms and reduce the amount of unwanted guns in all of our communities. If we just get one gun off the street, we will have succeeded. The South County gun buyback will take place this Saturday, December 14th, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. and will be located at the City of Gilroy Corporation Yard, located at 613 Old Gilroy Street. Guns should be transported unloaded in the trunk of your car. Please, no walk-ups and no ammunition. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain. Next will be Captain Pedro Espinoza of the Gilroy Police Department.
Tragedy is no stranger to our community. The purpose of the South County gun buyback is to provide a safe way, an anonymous way to dispose of unwanted firearms. Unwanted firearms that can end up in the wrong hands and fired accidentally or intentionally, creating more tragedy. The safety of our community is our top priority, and if we can prevent one tragedy, then we've succeeded. The gun buyback will provide $100 for handguns, rifles, and shotguns, and $200 for assault weapons. Firearms must be functional, and there is a limit of 5 firearms per person. Funds are limited and will be distributed on a first-come, first-served basis. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I'll present to you Mayor Constantine from the city of Morgan Hill.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much, everyone. I want to thank the District Attorney's Office for helping to put this together. Also want to thank our city of Morgan Hill, and also want to thank the city of Gilroy for sponsoring and hosting this event that's coming on this Saturday. It was said that if one gun is taken off the street, it's worth it. That's definitely true. But if this saves one life, it's definitely worth it. And I hope that you all, that if you have any guns that you want to get rid of, please come. This is a good way to get money for the holidays. So it'll also help save lives. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And certainly, last but not least, Mayor Roland Velasco from the city of Gilroy.
So thank you all for being here today. This buyback comes less than 5 months after the mass shooting at the Gilroy Garlic Festival. Not all violence and tragedy is preventable, but I believe that this buyback has the potential to prevent a possible tragedy. This event is an opportunity for residents to be involved in preserving the safety of our community. And this is something that I have heard firsthand, and is what, in part, stimulated this conversation about the possibility of a gun buyback. Our community is able to dispose of inherited or unwanted firearms in a safe and responsible manner, and thereby preventing these firearms from ending in the wrong hands. Together, I know that we can make a difference in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So with that, if you have any questions, we'll be happy to entertain any of your remarks or questions you might have.
Can I ask a question, Captain Espinoza? Sure. Can you answer in English first and then in Spanish? Would that be okay?
Yes.
For a time window. How successful have you seen you haven't had one in this county for 25 years, I understand. How successful have they been in the past? How successful do you think this can be?
Well, I know that typically, even though they're scheduled for 4 to 5 hours, typically folks are lined up way before the start time. And there are times where they actually run out of funds. And so as far as the numbers, this is first one I've been involved here. And the last one we had was 25 years ago. And I know we collected numerous weapons that were eventually destroyed.
And can you answer that in Spanish as well?
Sure. And let me give you something in Spanish so we get a little background on it. Esta recompra llega a menos de 4 meses después del tiroteo que pasó en el Festival del Ajo aquí en la ciudad de Gilroy. Ese incidente dejó 3 víctimas muertas y 17 heridas. Y cerca de 5 meses después de un tiroteo masivo en el concesionario de automóviles en la ciudad de Morgan Hill. En esa ocasión también quedaron 2 víctimas muertas. Estos eventos es una oportunidad para que los miembros de nuestra comunidad, la comunidad de Morgan Hill, intercambien armas de fuego por efectivo. Y sabemos que la última ocasión fue hace 25 años. Y hace 25 años entiendo que los fondos se terminaron rápidamente. Y el propósito es para que la comunidad se deshaga de esas armas de que probablemente fueron pasadas en la familia y no saben qué hacer con esas armas, y para prevenir una tragedia para que suceda aquí en la comunidad.
Could Mayor Constantine or Mayor Velasco talk a little bit about kind of the meaning of this event when it comes to healing for your communities?
Thank you, Mayor Velasco, allowing me to go first. So what this does, it gives people a sense of doing something. Now, so many times we hear on the news of a shooting and we have this sense of helplessness. And very rarely, thank God, does it affect us directly. But it does have an effect on a community. And it helps also to bring the community together. And we've seen that in Gilroy, we've seen that in Morgan Hill as well. So it's been said that buybacks really don't solve the problem, but as was also mentioned, this is just one tool in the arsenal to help bring sanity to the streets. As was said, if we can save one life with this buyback, then it's well worth it. All right.
Thank you for the question. The Gilroy community was deeply wounded by the events at the Garlic Festival. That goes without saying. The last time I was before a podium was at after the Garlic Festival shooting. However, the Gilroy community has come together. It is starting to heal, but this is a small part in the community's in the way that the community can continue to heal by getting rid of these unwanted firearms. And as I said in my comments, the community still wants to help. They still want to do something, and this is a small part for them to be able to play and help in healing the community. Thank you.
Is there a representative from the district attorney's office who could speak to it?
We have Salt teacher here.
Could you tell us why, it's noticeable that the sheriff's department is not involved in this, and does it have anything to do with the ongoing investigation with the DA's office and the sheriff's department? Or why isn't the sheriff's department involved in the gun buyback?
So I'm here to talk about the gun buyback, and it's a South County effort to take guns, unwanted guns, off of the streets.
No idea what the sheriff's department's not involved in that?
You'd have to ask that question of the sheriff's department.
Can someone speak a little bit to, we talked about how this is just one part of many prevention strategies. Can you elaborate a little bit on that and kind of like what role a buyback actually plays practically along with those other strategies?
Who would you like to respond to that?
Whoever is most comfortable responding, but I think, yeah, probably someone from the PD would be best.
Certainly. Either captains.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just curious to hear a little bit more elaboration on how gun buybacks work kind of practically in concert with larger gun prevention strategies.
Well, as far as how the buyback is going to work, basically people will get their unwanted guns. They'll come to the designated area. They'll have everything lined up and coned up, and it'll be very easy for them to get in, get out. As far as the community and how it helps with the community, I think it's been said several times that any unwanted gun that we can get and keep off the street to prevent violence or suicide, which is often overlooked, I think we'll succeed if we can do that. It was also mentioned that a lot of the unwanted guns are often left unsecured in the house, not in safes, and another part of this gun buyback will be gun safety. We'll be providing locks and some literature on gun safety for members of the community as well.
Are there any other questions? Yes, sir.
So the buyback has been promoted on social media online for about a few weeks now. What's the reaction you've been getting? I've been hearing a lot of people saying, oh yeah, I'm going to participate in this, or have you had any response?
I think initially that we've received a very positive response. We expect a sizable crowd, and we're prepared with the amount of resources that we think are going to be needed to safely manage that event. Both cities have contributed toward this effort, and as well as the county providing us with the support from the Crime Lab and the Santa Clara County District Attorney's Office. So we're expecting that it'll be positive, in particular with the weather cooperates, and that's certainly the goal here.
And do you have an estimation of how many people you expect to show up and how many weapons might be taken at that time?
That's difficult to say. It's hard to say. We can just look at other communities that have done this in our region and kind of base our numbers from that. I'm cautious to get into specific numbers with you. We do have a pretty good idea of what we expect and the amount of financial resources that we have to manage this event. And even once those are expended, we hope that people would still continue to come and volunteer those weapons, if for no other reason but strictly for the safety of the families in both of our communities.
We hope to run out of money.
So it's $50,000. That's the limit, I guess is the right word I'm looking for.
I think
More or less.
we're prepared to yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? If you think of something here, we'll make the officials here available to you for specific questioning or interviews if you need them. Again, if you need further explanations in Spanish, we have two folks here to help you. Bernice Aguilera here from the District Attorney's Office, and then again, Captain Espinoza as well. With that, sunshine? Okay, thank you very much. Have a great day. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
I can say hi.